such a simple word, and us is much more than you heard. Two little letters come together, and then loneliness is cured. Yeah, us is something like a dream. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And us is fun and fancy free. Oh yes indeed. Two little letters come together, and then us makes you and me. I can't get enough, enough, enough. I can't get enough, enough, enough. I love us. Not just another fantasy. Us is as real as can be. Two little letters change forever, and we will touch the skies above the sea. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I can't get enough. No, I can't get enough. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I can't get enough. No, I can't get enough. 'Cause I love us. I love us. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. Oh, love us. I love us. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. I can't get
We were floating down the river in your red canoe. You were laughing at my stories, oh, back from my youth. Yeah, and I remember thinking to myself that you are the one. Oh, you were
Good evening. I'm so excited you're joining tonight's program. My name is Jessica Zhang. I'm the VP HR for Eaton Corporation here in Eden Prairie. We are so proud to sponsor tonight's program to support all the kids and families that are served by Campfire. Thank you for adding your support. I hope you enjoy the program.
Oh, that one time on the West Coast in the dead of night, we were watching cruise.
I'm Bill Coy. We're going to do a little virtual wine tasting for you. If you stick around, we're going to get to drink some wine together for Campfire's annual fundraiser.
Oh, thinking life don't get much better than a night like tonight. 'Cause there was no one else I wanted to see. There was nothing else I wanted to do. There was nowhere else I wanted to be than sitting oceanside with you.
I'm so glad you've joined us tonight for our first ever Under the Stars event. I'm Loren Heeringa, President of Campfire Minnesota's Board of Directors and Senior VP and Chief Human Resources Officer at Land O'Lakes, tonight's presenting sponsor. Like Campfire Minnesota, we at Land O'Lakes believe that intentional inclusion and experiencing nurturing relationships can be transformative for young people. Because Campfire Minnesota combines these values with the healing power of nature, we know the approach changes lives. We believe in this mission. So, on behalf of Land O'Lakes, I'm delighted to welcome you to this program, and I hope it will inspire you to give generously. You'll be hearing from parents and campers, and you'll be getting an update from CEO Marnie Wells, a caring leader who I've come to greatly admire through my work on the board. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Welcome, everybody. I am so happy to be with you here tonight. I'm going to be singing a few songs for you tonight. My name is Jayna Davis, and these will be songs I wrote. We're going to start off with one that I wrote for my little sisters. I have two little sisters. So this one is called You Belong in a Love Song. Painted lips and eyes closed tight, wondering why nobody's held you like they had something to lose. Your little world is closing in, and you can't help wondering where have all the good ones been. Your perfect time. Somebody's gonna look at you and read you like your poetry. Somebody's gonna spend the whole night trying to find the words. Don't go and give up hope, 'cause I'm not the last to know. You belong in a love song. You belong in a love song. You do. Oh, you're hurting so. But oh, you've got melodies in your soul. Somebody's gonna look at you and read you like your poetry. Somebody's gonna spend the whole night trying to find the words. Oh, don't go, give up hope, 'cause I'm not the last to know. You belong in a love song. You belong in a love song. You do. I want to thank you again for coming out tonight to support us at the Under the Stars event. This place, Tanadoona, it really feels like home to me. I've come out and worked here the last couple summers before this one, and I've really seen firsthand just the immensely positive impact that camp can have on youth and on staff as well. It's just, we create such a family here every year and then throughout the year and beyond summer. So I'm so happy to have you in our campfire community and so happy you tuned in tonight. Thank you. This next song, it's called Outta Control. I heard you were outside, blowing smoke to a hazy sky, talking politics and wondering why. I'm right there in the corner, burning now as you walk over and lean your head upon my shoulder. You said, hey, I can be a bit dramatic, I don't know what to do with that. I'm still young and running on bad decisions, bad decisions. Fool me once, I'll tell you twice, I only take the worst advice, so let me go slow and follow me out of control. Got a wild streak 10 feet wide when you linger by my side. 2 a.m. city streets, well they got nothing to hide. I said, baby, baby, tell me the truth. Am I really as crazy as you laughed? And I said, yeah, I hope so too. You said, hey, I can be a bit dramatic, I don't know what to do with that. I'm still young and running on bad decisions, bad decisions. Fool me once, I'll tell you twice, I only take the worst advice, so let me go slow and follow me out of control. One step out, knocking on your doorstep, sounds coming down the stairwell. How do you keep your cool when mine is falling through? One step out, knocking on your doorstep, sounds coming down the stairwell. How do you keep your cool when mine is falling through? You said, hey, I can be a bit dramatic, I don't know what to do with that. I'm still young and running on bad decisions, bad decisions. Fool me once, I'll tell you twice, I only take the worst advice, so let me go slow and follow me out of control. thank you once again. My name is Jayna Davis. I really appreciate you listening. This will be my last song. It's called Easy. We drove 400 miles. You made it worth the while. Name any adventure and I'll go. Baby, you're a work of art. Your freckled face and stubborn heart. And when you laugh, it sounds like coming home. In your kitchen on a snow day, or at that pier down by the sea, dancing with you late downtown, or with the dog there on the couch. Baby, loving you is easy. It's strange to trust again when love has always been outgrowing empty promises to stay. This accidental fall meant giving in to get it all and learning how to love another way. In your kitchen on a snow day, or at that pier down by the sea, dancing with you late downtown, or with the dog there on the couch. Baby, loving you is easy. And I hope that in the end I'm loving my best friend. And I hope it feels this simple even then, like your kitchen on a snow day, or at that pier down by the sea, dancing with you late downtown, or with the dog there on the couch. Baby, loving you is easy. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much to the incredibly talented Jayna Davis. Jayna has been on camp staff for 3 years, and she mentioned in her performance the mission that has played out in front of her firsthand as a counselor at Tanadoona. And her camp name is Blue, so some of you watching tonight who may have been at camp with her, you would know her by that name. And it was just a pleasure to have her with us, sharing her original songs and sharing her heart with us. I'd like to introduce myself as well. My name is Sarah Knox, and if you've been to other campfire events, you may recognize me as the auctioneer for the fall fundraiser. And it is so fun to be here with you, even though we're across the screen from one another, as your host. I love the mission that Campfire Minnesota has. Nature is such a deep part of my life. We are avid campers in our household, and I always have been out in nature, and it is a huge personal value that my husband and I share with our children. We love to get them out in nature. We love to see them really explore and learn more about themselves through nature, and we want this to be in the hands of children everywhere. And I know many of you watching with us right now share this mission. You share this passion with us, and that's why you're watching. That's why you're joining us. And what I would love to do is hear from you. You'll see right now that we have a chat feature. And if you would be brave with me for a moment, can you share with us your favorite nature experience, or maybe one of your favorite memories from childhood of getting out into nature, or a time that you felt I don't know, particularly brave, right? We all know that bravery is something that comes when you explore nature and you try new things and you gain confidence. And a lot of your nature experiences may come through as a feeling, and that's great. We would love to hear that from you. And while you are writing those in and while you're typing those in, go ahead and encourage others while you're in there. I want to welcome you to our first ever Under the Stars virtual event. And while this year looks a little different in the way that we're gathering, I know that you are getting set up, you are getting used to this, and go ahead and let us know your nature experiences and where you're joining from and who you're joining with. I know some of you may be gathered with friends in hopes to join us in our wine tasting in about a half hour, but you are here with us to support this incredible mission, and I am so glad to have you here. Tonight, I am really excited to tell you about an anonymous match that we've been given, which means that every donation this evening, right now, everything from your silent auction items to just your straight up generosity will be matched dollar for dollar. And so what I want you to do is go ahead, if you have not registered yet, you can do that at campfiremn.org/stars. All you need to do is click on register to set up your account. If you're already registered, you know how to donate. There's a donate button right there, or go ahead and peruse those silent auction items. In a little bit, we will come together in an incredible moment of giving where you'll see those donations come through and know that your donations are going to be doubled. And we cannot do any of this without you. And we can't do any of this without our amazing sponsors. Again, we'd love to thank our presenting sponsor, Land O'Lakes, this evening. You have been with us for so many years, Land O'Lakes. Thank you to all of you from Land O'Lakes watching. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our fearless leader, Marnie Wells, Campfire Minnesota CEO. Marnie, come on up.
Good evening, and welcome to Campfire Minnesota's Under the Stars. I'm Marnie Wells, and it's my honor to be Campfire Minnesota CEO. We're coming to you tonight from Tanadoona's brand new Community and Dining Center. This beautiful new space allows Campfire programs to expand year-round and grow to serve 10,000 youth each year. Although I would have loved to have seen each of you here in person, I am so happy you're joining us virtually from the comfort of your own homes. Tonight you'll be hearing directly from Campfire youth and their families, and with your support and generosity, I know we can change the lives of youth in our community by donating generously to make sure every child has access to the power of nature and the experience of being accepted for who they are. Youth spend more than 50 hours a week in front of a screen, and that's pre-COVID. And today, our youth are more plugged in than ever. Research shows that people just need 2 hours per week in nature to experience its many benefits, including being emotionally and physically healthier. And that's what Campfire is all about. We know that nature can be experienced anywhere. It doesn't have to be far up north. We help youth connect with nature that's all around them, whether that's through our My Nature Connection, Campfire's online free resource library, or offering families access to safe, socially distanced programming at Tanadoona. And this fall, we are ready to partner with teachers on environmental education lessons. And we're preparing to get back to summer camp safely next year. We're committed to meeting our community needs during this pandemic and beyond. But we need your help. The pandemic has hit Campfire hard. Our finances are taking a massive hit, and we expect the strain to continue into next year. And yet, I am so inspired by how our community has stepped up already to help. I am confident we will emerge from this pandemic together, stronger than before. When we made the difficult decision to cancel our 2020 summer camp season, many of you donated your fees to ensure Tanadoona is here and strong for the next year. Our neighbors and our friends have reached deeper into their pockets to support our distance learning program. And tonight, we're asking each of you to consider making a donation to Campfire Minnesota. When you do, you'll ensure programs remain accessible to all Campfire youth. Your gift tonight expands our distance learning programs for students and teachers. And as our in-person programs resume, your support ensures summer camp scholarships and the financial support for schools will be available to meet the increased need, because we know financial assistance requests are on the rise. Now, I am so excited to introduce you to a couple people. First, you'll meet Rachel, a longtime camper parent, followed by Talia, an inspiring campfire youth and leader in her own right. Her story reminds me of the power found in nature and special places like our very own Tanadoona. Thank you again for joining us this evening, and enjoy.
I don't think that we always talk about how hard it is to be a kid, and that growing up is really tough. And I think in today's world, it's even tougher. And kids, they go through a lot, they see a lot, they're trying to discover who they are and, you know, make sense of the world. And a place like Tanadoona gives them the opportunity to find leadership qualities in themselves and to learn and grow and connect with other people that they might not otherwise have a chance to. One of the things that was memorable about my oldest daughter's experience was one year when she went to camp for the week and stayed overnight. Her counselor facilitated a group where each day the campers would talk about an issue that was important to them, and they would spend some time discussing it with each other and then educating the other campers. So they talked about social justice issues, they talked about the environment, and as a result of that, my daughter, when she came home, she was really excited, and she was excited to share with me the things that she had done, the way that she felt she had impacted other campers, and I could see a real boost in her confidence. In my professional life, I work with a lot of young people, children and adolescents who have experienced trauma. And one of the things that I try to do with my kids before we start talking about some of the more difficult things is ask them about things that they like to do, or ways that they have fun, ways that they sort of find their peace. And I had the opportunity to work with a young person who told me that Camp Tanadoona was something that that child looked forward to each year. And hearing that, it really meant a lot to me, because I knew from my own kids going to Camp Tanadoona what a special place it was. I knew that as a participant in the camp, that this child was going to be experiencing a really supportive and encouraging environment at a time in her life that was extremely difficult for those who would not otherwise know. And it would be my hope that any kid who wanted to go to Camp Tanadoona would be able to do that, so they could be part of that experience.
When I was 9, we were going through a lot of different financial situations. We were moving around a lot then. I didn't have very many close friends. It was hard for me to get out and meet new people or establish friendships where I was. That's when I found out about camp. It was the first experience that I've had at an actual camp. Tanadoona really was my home from home. It was a way I could escape. It kind of sets you free from all the mental baggage that you have carrying around in your head. Like if you have stresses at home that you're dealing with, or at school, or with parents or siblings, it kind of just lets you be in the moment.
I think it's amazing that we have the access to scholarships. There are so many kids that can take advantage of being here through the scholarship fund. I think that when kids connect with nature, they're more empathetic. They're able to understand that everything around us is valuable. And so whether it's admiring plants but not pulling them, or whether it's trying to catch frogs but gently and putting them back, respect yourself, respect other people, and respect the environment. If kids are doing those things, And if they bring that respect to other parts of their life, you know, we're doing our job.
I remember the first few years when I went, I couldn't get up the rock wall, I couldn't get up the ladder because I hated heights. I was deathly petrified, afraid of them. It really helped me become stronger because every year I'd go back, I'd just get a little bit higher and a little bit farther. And it just helped me grow as a person. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about what it meant to be a leader and what it meant to be a leader, especially for Tanadoona. I want to push them outside their comfort zones. Not that I'm trying to push them to like try new things or try things that are scary. I want them to perceive that I'm there as someone who's going to be there when they fall. I'm going to be there to help them back up and brush them off and say, all right, go ahead, try it again. You're fine, I promise. That's what I want. I want them to take away what they learned from Tanadoona and apply it in their own life so they can keep that with them forever, just as like I did. It's really hard to step outside your own shoes to make a place enjoyable for others if you're having a hard time. You really learn how to overcome obstacles like that, and that is what I think builds your character, and that's what built mine over the years. I think Tanadoona really has prepared me for my future and what I want to be doing, because it's given me the confidence and courage to say, this is what I want. I'm going to be going to basic training for the Marines, and I'm going to become a Marine. And I'm really, really excited about it. I don't think that words could honestly describe how grateful and I'd say like blessed I am to be able to get scholarships every year and be in Camp Tanadoona. It feels like I'm home.
It is so amazing to see the impact that nature and Tanadoona have on students and youth. We heard from Rachel and the impact that Tanadoona has had not only on her own kids, but on kids that she's worked with that she never expected to hear the Camp Tanadoona come out of their mouths. She sees that this is something that all youth can look forward to and feel safe and feel energized and passionate and brave just by coming to camp. These are memories that they hold with them. They are experiences that build into them and they look forward to and they hold on to in other times throughout the year. And then we heard from Talia, who not only attended Tanadoona for so many years, but then grew into such a leader herself. She is passionate and she is strong, and she continues to credit so much of that to her experiences right here. When you are investing in Tanadoona, when you're investing in Campfire Minnesota and the programs that they are doing here, what you are doing is investing into youth that are growing into leaders. These are young men and women who are continuing to take these experiences and build into their lives and their own confidence that goes out and allows them to become stronger, more capable adults who are going to continue to give back to whether it is the youth in their own communities or just in our society as a whole. You are building into strong young adults here. And your gifts tonight are so impactful. When you build into a youth, this is an area where you can catch them at their most vulnerable points. This is a time where you can truly make a difference in their lives as they grow up. These are the memories that they hold on to, and I know so many of you at home, as you've been sharing in the chat of your nature memories and the experiences that nature really built into your lives, I know you resonate with this. I know this is something that you understand and have experienced for yourself firsthand. And so tonight, what you can do is build into them through donating and partnering with us here at Campfire Minnesota. Just go to campfiremn.org/stars. Again, you can register there if you haven't yet, but you can also just go ahead and donate. All of tonight's donations are matched thanks to an anonymous family. So don't worry, you can give generously because that's just going to be doubled on you, right? Many of us think of camp as a common experience for a kid. But some kids live in places where they can't just go outside and play and run around. Our next parent talks about what that's like and what it means to her that her kids can come and experience nature at Tanadoona.
I went when I was a kid, so I want to hear what your story is.
Well, the first time I went, everybody was very welcoming, and it was like really fun. And like I like learning all the camp songs. And then like the second year I went, the same thing except everything was like different, just like and everything was different in a different way. I think like other kids should go because you get to do a lot of adventures there, and you get to go look around, and like there's like
the scavenger hunts.
Yeah, there's scavenger hunts.
Right?
There's rope courses and stuff like that, and archery. And like in the morning when you wake up, you can do the puller plunge or you can do sleepy sheep. And I like to do the puller plunge because it's like jumping in cold water. It's actually very refreshing.
It is important for us as a family for the kids to get out of the inner city and learn what new and healthy and safe friendships are with friends and adults, and learn how to do things in the wilderness, and just the experience of being in a cabin with other kids, you know, that have to be fun and memorable. So where we live, I wouldn't necessarily say it's safe at all. We hear gunshots at night. You know, sometimes it's too close where I have to go check and make sure they're okay. Them have the opportunity to go somewhere where I know they're safe means a lot. It's very important because I don't trust my kids in the hands of very many people. I want them to be influenced by as many positive people in their lives as possible. So Camp Tanadoona to me is a positive influence for them.
Sarah, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your story and your kids with us here at Tanadoona. We know that it is an honor to serve families like you, to serve any family that sends their kids through Tanadoona or any of the programs here at Campfire, Minnesota. And those of you who are watching at home, we already have heard your stories. We heard from you in the chat what nature means to you and how it has impacted you growing up. And that is what we are doing right now for so many children in our community. Campfire Minnesota has so many amazing programs that you are going to support right this minute. So I want you to turn to the person next to you on the couch. Maybe they're on the left or right. And what I want you to do is say, hey, open up your phone and go to campfiremn.org/stars, because this is where we are going to make the magic happen. You are going to hit that little donate button, and the work that you are doing this evening is to make an impact on lives of so many youth going forward. If you're giving tonight at the $5,000 level, you are going to be providing environmental education for 800 students. This is both in class or remote, and we know this need is high right now. At the $2,500 level, you are going to be making Tanadoona's vegetable garden accessible to youth in wheelchairs, because right now it's on the ground, but we want to bring it up on risers so that they can just roll by and still be able to get their hands in the dirt and feel the soil and really watch those gardens grow. At $1,000, you get to send 4 youth to summer camp on scholarship. Now, maybe you have kids that currently attend, or you yourself had incredible experiences at camp growing up. This is an opportunity to make this happen for 4 youth in our community so that they can experience Tanadoona firsthand. $500 is going to send 50 youth to Tanadoona for a socially distanced, nature-based field trip. And right now, when they need to get out of the classroom more than ever, you can provide that to them. And I am so excited to announce that we have a sponsor from Eaton Corporation who's going to be matching donations up to $15,000 starting at the $500 level. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, didn't we already have a match for this evening? We do. An anonymous family is matching everything given this evening. So that means that if you're giving at the $500 level or below, your donation is going to become $1,500. It's going to be tripled. That is absolutely amazing. So give generously, give right now, because this is happening tonight. Do not put off this donation. This is where you're going to get this tripled this evening. $250 will sponsor a teen outdoor leader for 1 year. We saw Talia earlier. You are investing in youth, and for $250, not only is that going to be tripled, but let's talk about that $250, what you are going to do there. For $250, you are able to really build into one youth. That $250 is going to make a huge impact on the life of one youth, which is going to build into their adulthood and go and shape them in ways that you could not even imagine. So go ahead and do that. $100 is going to help send a child to summer camp on scholarship. So go together on those scholarships. $50 is going to help purchase Tanadoona program supplies. This could be new archery equipment, COVID cleaning supplies, or if you really want to make a kid's day, they are also going to be putting in a water trampoline for the 2021 season. And so $50 is going to give into that. So everything that you're doing this evening, you are helping us bring our programs to young people during the pandemic, both virtually and in a limited in-person capacity. We know the need will be greater when we return to more in-person programs, but right now, you from your couch during this virtual program are meeting needs of getting these kids into nature in a virtual sense. Campfire Minnesota has adapted, and they have pivoted in ways that are allowing us still to build into the youth in these incredible ways, even when we can't come to camp or meet in person. And you sitting on your couch right now are doing it as well. And we want to thank you so much for all of your generosity. Seeing those donations come in is just making all of our hearts stir. We also want to thank our sponsors. We have so many sponsors who come back year after year to support Campfire Minnesota. With that, I am going to introduce Loren Heeringa. Welcome, Loren.
Thank you, Sarah. And a big thank you to all of you for giving so generously tonight. I'm Loren Heeringa, Campfire Minnesota's board president and senior VP and chief human resources officer with Land O'Lakes. Land O'Lakes is proud to serve as tonight's Under the Stars presenting sponsor as part of our commitment to fighting hunger, supporting education, and strengthening communities. Right here at Tanadoona, youth are building community and learning about food through the Tanadoona Garden. I'm personally very excited about the brand new teaching kitchen that's in the lower level of this building. On behalf of Campfire, I want to thank Eaton for matching donations tonight. I'm also want to thank all of our generous event sponsors. We're proud to be in such excellent company and grateful for your contribution connecting youth and people with nature. Together, we make every dollar go further to support youth, families, and teachers in the Campfire family. Sarah?
Loren, thank you so much for sharing your heart with us and your passion for Campfire Minnesota. I know so many of you watching at home were probably inspired by his message and by his words, because he gives his time so generously to this organization because he loves it. And I know so many of you at home feel the same way. You love the programs that are going on here at Campfire Minnesota. And I want to thank you for those of you who have given already. And maybe you haven't given yet, but you can do that right now at campfireminnesota.org/stars. And remember, all of the donations this evening are going to be matched dollar for dollar. So your impact this evening is going to go even further. Thank you all so much for your generosity and for showing up tonight and for sharing your nature experiences with us. And thank you for any of you who invited others to watch. If you missed any of this, maybe you came on a little late or you just wanted to re-watch the music at the beginning of the program like I plan to do after I leave here this evening, you can watch this later because it will be on our website really soon. Go ahead, pass it on to a friend who you think would want to build into the lives of youth through these incredible nature programs. A little thing that you should know, the silent auction closes on Saturday at noon. So go get those bids in and make sure your notifications are on because you want to make sure you're getting those donations. And remember, even the silent auction donations are matched this evening. So you are going to get great items and make a huge impact. And now this is a moment that many of you are waiting for, and you've been looking at those bottles of wine probably sitting on your table in front of you, just waiting to open them. And let's be honest, some of you have probably already opened those, but we are going to be joined by Bill Coy for an incredible wine tasting.
Good evening and welcome back. We're going to do a quick little wine tasting for you of 3 crowd-pleasing wines. Bubbles, a white and a red, and they're really wines that are great for any group, beginners or novices, all the way up to experts. You're all going to get something in your glass, so that's really the goal of this whole thing. We're going to start off with a Prosecco. Prosecco is a white sparkling wine from northern Italy, from Val di Biadene. So if you learn how to say that, you're pretty cool already. You can fake to people that you can speak Italian. This is a sparkling wine. It's the closest thing in the wine world to the fermentation of beer. It's made continuously year-round and bottled, and it never has a vintage on it. The Mianetto family is a real prominent family in the Prosecco production, and I'm going to show you quickly how to open a bottle of bubbles. So, you grab this little wire here, and they all turn 6 times. I had a much better lie about it years ago until I found out from a producer that only one company makes the machine that does this. That's why they all turn 6 times. Turn about a 40-degree angle. Now all the pressure's on that broadest part of the bottle instead of that little dime-sized bottom of the cork. And I leave the wire on, gives you a much better grip on the cork. And right at the last second, you'll feel it push against your hand. You push back. Did you hear that? Maybe not. Should have held it up closer. That's it. So, when you see people pop champagne or bubbles, they're losing a lot of the effervescence, and you want to just have it hiss, and that's also much safer than shooting it across the room, unless it's at someone you don't really care for. So that's fine. Champagne flute, bubbles flute. The reason these glasses are tall and they have the longest stems in the wine industry is because that's to keep your 98-degree hand away from that 50-degree beverage. So it keeps the wine cool and your hand away from it. So cheers. That's a great way to greet people in your home. You don't need food with it. It's a super easy cocktail to get in somebody's hand, and you're not standing there making cocktails or taking orders. Pretty much when you offer somebody a glass of bubbles, they just say thank you. So the next wine was just we're going to do a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand and then a Côte de Rhône from the Rhône Valley. We picked wines that are for crowds that everybody in a group will gravitate towards. So your Pinot Grigio lovers will like a Sauvignon Blanc, your Chardonnay lovers will like a Sauvignon Blanc. New Zealand, if you were to design on a computer, one of the finest places to grow this grape, New Zealand would pop up. They have perfect, super long summers, very, very long growing season, not too hot, not too cool. From New Zealand, you get a real tropical nose on it, on the Sauvignon Blanc, and you don't get a lot of the earthiness that you'll get out of the Sauvignon Blancs from France. We got a twist off, so we're gonna have all 3 closures tonight. I have a wired cap for a bottle with some bubbles in it, and then a twist off, Stelvin closure. Stelvin's the guy who invented that closure. When you hear it, the aluminum break, that's his patent. So it would have been good to be a Stelvin. Take a quick smell of this. Most of the Sauvignon Blancs, almost all from New Zealand and most in the world, don't spend any time on oak. So they're brightest, freshest, drunk young. So they harvest this grape in February in New Zealand because you're south of the equator. And so this is a 2019. So it should be in your recycling by 2021, not in your cellar. Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand has a tropical, like I said, either you get the passion fruit and pineapple or a real prominent grapefruit flavor. Bright, great pairings with any seafood, and really nice to meet people in a larger group so everybody has a red or has a white that they like. Hope you enjoy. The last wine is a Côte de Rhône. I'm going to find my wine opener here. Côte means hills. The Rhône is a valley. And it's a blend from the entire valley of the Rhône. Chave is the producer of this one, an old Rhône family. They grow mostly Grenache and Syrah, but you can blend any of the prominent red grapes into a Côte de Rhône. So it's a red blend. And as they got trendier in the United States, people said, oh, I love the red blends. Well, Bordeaux and the Rhône have been blending reds for about 400 years. So they were a little bit ahead of our big red blend craze. So as you saw, I used this as called the double hinged opener. That first push, you get a little pickup on it, and then you go to the bottom of it, and then it's just much easier to get it out of the bottle. This wine does spend about 6 months in oak, so it's got a little more earthy appeal, a little more weight to it, and a bright kind of raspberry acid to it, tartness. So you'll get a real nice blended red. Get a glass here. You see the glassware I'm using tonight? This is all crystal. Crystal has a lot more surface area in it than glass. Glass is, for lack of a better way to describe it, melted sand. So it's smooth on the inside and the outside. Crystal is millions of crystals melted together. So the surface area in this glass, as compared to a glass the exact same size, the surface area in this is about 20 times the surface area of a glass. So somebody said that I was doing a tasting, so he said, well, do I have to get all crystal? I said, no, you just have to have one for you, and then you're good. So it just gives you a better nose on it, covers more surface area. So the difference in crystal and glass is if you put a little cologne on or you break the bottle in the sink. So you break the bottle in the sink, you're really going to get a big nose of it. If you like that smell, your brain is already trying to convince you that you're going to love how it tastes. So you hear people say, oh, I can't taste anything, I have a cold. That's the opposite of being able to smell something great and then taste it in the glass. Thanks for joining us tonight. Enjoy. Cheers.